But here's the thing. I don't dislike Okada. Right? I would love for these guys, like the Okadas and the Ospreys, to be larger than life, awesome. Nick is going to tune in on Wednesday night. I am 100% going to be there for Dynamite because I need to see what these guys are doing. It's not like that right now, though.
Here comes trouble!
It's me. It's an N to the T to the G. Roll it once again with that BTW, baby. Trouble, baby. I'm taking up the whole screen. And you got myself, Nicky the Good, and we are the Meat Pop Express. And boy, do we have another jam-packed episode for you today. Listen, everybody, there's a lot going on, right? We got some nostalgia hitting the world of professional wrestling, but we're also in the new age, right? We're in the new age, and before we get into the festivities of today's show, which is the Meat Pop Express versus the IWC, because we have a gripe with a bunch of you, because a lot of you have been misbehaving. Okay, I'm a dad. I got 2 kids, and when they misbehave, I got to put them in their place. Well, at least my son, not my daughter, because she's a princess. But you guys are going to be taken to task today. That's going to be the theme of the show. But before we get there, I want to talk about our friend of the show, Dave Sturcio, right? So if you follow Premier, you see his mug everywhere. You know who Dave is, right? He's a great guy. He's on Twitter. He follows me. He likes all my tweets because he knows I'm the dude, right? Well, he's a friend of the show, and he just broke out the pretty cool thing. And this is where I'm going to get a little bit serious here, okay? Because this is very cool for professional wrestling fans, okay? We like to have our wrestling in one place. We used to have that thing called the WWE Network, and everything was right there, and it was awesome. And then they sold out to Peacock, right? But what Dave did in his crew is there's this app, and it's called the Premier Wrestling app. And listen, I got it on my phone right now, and let me tell you guys, listen, I don't promo anything, okay? If I think you suck, I'm going to say you suck, but this does not suck, my friends. This is pretty damn good. So right here, I got it on my phone. I downloaded it, okay? You go to the home. It's everything you could possibly want in pro wrestling. You know how you go online and you look at your social media and you try to get everything in one place, but you can't because it's in different platforms, different websites? Well, the Premier Wrestling app, brother, puts all of it in one spot. And it's incredible. I just click on a link. I saw Seth Rollins here. A little story drove me to Wrestling Inc., okay? You go down. You got some podcasts here. We're not on it, Dave. But I think we could probably fix that, right?
I think we could. I think we could. I think we could politic our way into the app.
Yeah, why not? Let's politic right now while I'm doing this promo. So we got that. We also got like a little bit of a Twitter feed here. So you want to see what's going on in the Twitterverse, what's important, right? It's going to funnel in, and you're going to have it right in your app. And it's awesome. In fact, Ben, I went through the entire app, and there's one thing that I could not find. This thing had everything. It even went outside of wrestling. It's so damn good. What's the one thing you think I couldn't find?
Could you not find anything on CMLL?
Well, you definitely can't find any of that, but I wasn't going to go there. What I was going to say is, dude, I could not find. Like, I went back 20 years and I couldn't find a Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl. Couldn't find it.
Wow.
Couldn't find it. And
now
I know Dave's a big fan.
We're gonna get our memberships revoked. Now we're not gonna
listen. When Dave was like, here, check out the app, I was like, man, I'm gonna have he's like, you can get everything, and I took that quite literally. So I was like, I want to go watch, the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl from, the past 20 years. I want to check them all out. None were there.
Oh man. Dave.
Couldn't find any. It's as if they don't exist because the franchise is a no-name franchise, Dave.
Oh, no.
And you need to accept your fate, brother. You need to
boy.
accept your fate, Dave. This is a promo on you and all of Cowboy Nation. All the damn clips you put in front of my face. I see you, and I see you rocking the old star, and I don't like it. So anyway, but this isn't about football. This is about pro wrestling.
That's what we need. We want everything together. I don't want to have all these thousands IWTV and Ring of Honor, Final Pass, or New Japan World Global, or CMLL's Mother's Basement. I'll
never subscribe.
I don't need any of these. I want everything in one place. Let me see my good buddies on the indies, maybe some of the shows. I want to see stuff. I want to see Twitter, but I don't want to see all the loser marks on Twitter making their comments. I just want to see what I want to see.
We want a feed of just me and Ben.
That's all we want. That's all we want. Me, Nick,
and
the Meat Pop Express, and then Dave's takes on the Cowboys. That's fine too, I guess, here and there.
Yeah, so we can laugh.
We need some enhancement talent. We need enhancement talent there.
You need an enhancement talent and a comedic relief section.
Exactly.
And that was a huge promo, and we should probably be seeing a check at some point.
Yes, where's the check? Yes.
But let's move on to the show. Let's move into the show here. Okay, so we're taking on the IWC today. Listen, there were two main things, Ben, that really stood out to me that just drove me nuts. So, friend of the show who has interviewed us, he asked us one question. Chris Van Vliet had on O'Shea Jackson Jr., okay, who is the son of Ice Cube. And he's apparently a big-time wrestling fan.
Huge.
One of the things they talked about, and it's his pinned tweet right now, is he took issue with the way that people are presented in AEW, and the AEW fan base has come for him. With that said, I'm going to go Ben first, because you know I can get a little testy, and I've spoken a lot already.
Let me tag you in.
All I'm going to say before I go ballistic is say this. If you listen to how eloquent that guy spoke about pro wrestling, and you took issue with what he said, you're not helping anything. And maybe it's because your head is so far up your Cheeto-eating ass that you can't understand what the hell's going on. Now, Ben, I'm going to tag you in before I get rowdy.
All right. So it's really funny to me that a guy like O'Shea Jackson gets wrestling more than wrestling fan. I mean, I know he's a wrestling fan, but he like gets it more than actually people in wrestling. He understands it. And he said it. He's like, if you want to get over with an American audience. Now, granted, this guy's dad is one of the most prolific entertainers of all time. Not just as a rapper, also an actor. And O'Shea's an actor as well. And he was great in Straight Outta Compton, portraying his dad. So you're listening to guys who have been in the entertainment business for years. And he says, to get over with that American audience, I need stories. I need characters. I need something to invest in. I can't just invest in a guy walking down the ramp and I never heard of him. It's like I'm just going to think he's already in the ring guy or he's a jobber, an enhancement talent. I don't know who he is. Am I supposed to know who he is? So he's saying this, but then people are discrediting him like, we don't have to tell you. You should know who it is. We don't have to tell you. You don't have to know who it is. What are you talking about? This it's been like this for years in professional wrestling, where there's been vignettes and we've understood like, who's coming in and we're getting excited about it. And now everybody like automatically thinks that like you have to know every wrestler on the planet just by heart. So we have lives. We can't watch all this shit. I can't watch hours of wrestling every single week. So you gotta cater to people. You gotta give them something to invest in. And so I don't understand what the outrage was, because he just said, I would just like to know who the hell's on my TV. You watch any TV show. They're going to tell you who's on your TV. You're going to see promos. You're going to see commercials. They're going to get you hyped up for that show or whatever it may be. Whatever you like. Whatever it be, Walking Dead or Breaking Bad or anything. They're going to get you hyped up every week. You're going to have commercials. So what's the difference with wrestling? We're just supposed to throw people out there, and you're supposed to go on the internet and go in the goddamn pits of Twitter to figure out who these people are? Like, come on. Was there really this much outrage? You really were this mad about what this guy said? Come on.
For him to talk about it, I do think and he was referencing like specific replies that he was getting. Now, this is what I want to take issue with these hot pocket eating pansies. Okay. Ugh. Listen, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I have an ongoing bit with Okada where I will just say people that I would rather watch than Okada. But here's the thing. I don't dislike Okada, right? I would love for these guys like the Okadas and the Ospreys to be larger than life, awesome. Nick is going to tune in on Wednesday night. I am 100% going to be there for Dynamite because I need to see what these guys are doing. It's not like that right now, though. You should want me, someone who doesn't have as much time as you. Trust me, if you are a wrestling mark and you're absorbing 19 different federations of wrestling, I do not have, hold on, you have more time in your day than I do.
Get hot.
I need to be selective when it comes to what wrestling I'm watching. Okay, I have 2 children. I have a job. I have this world-renowned podcast that Ben and I are doing right now. Okay, I have a wife. I have things to do. I don't know Okada's 16-year character arc. I need to know it quickly so that I'm invested and I'll be like, oh, okay, 8 o'clock Wednesday night. All right, I want to check this out. That's all I'm saying. Listen, I've been in the room with all the AEW wrestlers that you guys talk about. Newsflash, I've been in the fucking room with these people. Okay, if you didn't know that. Literally in the room with them, 4 interviews, talking to them both on the camera and off the camera. Okay, so I have nothing against any of the wrestlers. I got nothing against Okada. I got things against you dumb idiots. Because you idiots don't understand why I don't like what I'm seeing. It's like you take issue, like, oh, you just must be someone who likes entertainment. Yeah, no shit, man. Mm-hmm. No shit, dude. I'm not going to sit there and just watch Okada wrestle for 45 minutes against some other person I don't know.
Isn't that what it's supposed to be? Is it supposed to be entertaining? Like, why are people getting so mad about, like, oh, all you want is entertainment? Then no shit, I want entertainment. Why would I be watching any of this? Like, I want to be entertained. Nowadays, there's a million things you could watch on TV. There's so many other things I could watch besides wrestling.
Ben, imagine watching an X-Men film and, like, the first scene is just, and you don't know who they are. And the first scene is just Wolverine and fighting Deadpool.
Yeah,
and you'd be like,
and
what
like
the fuck is happening?
And like a boring catch wrestling match too. They're just like rolling around on a mat. No, yeah. Imagine you have no idea, and you'd be like, that was the shittiest comic book movie of all time. There was no character development. They didn't get into the this, that, and the other. God, you guys are so insufferable. So
insufferable.
Go ahead.
Go.
No, you
I'm
go.
Tired. Like, I mean, I just look at, like, what Tony Storm's doing. I'm like, I like watching Tony Storm. Everyone else does. Even the people that like this catch wrestling stuff. Like, wouldn't you want me to be invested in the other people so that I could enjoy it as well? No, like, you're not helping. You're coming at a guy like O'Shea Jackson, who literally is probably someone you really want to be invested in your product. Yes. You listen to the way he talked about Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. You should want him to be talking about that way about Ospreay, because I know Ospreay is a fucking unreal dude. Yep. He's fucking insane. I have seen it, and I'm impressed with what he can do in the ring. I'm not concerned with that though, right? I'm not concerned with that because I will watch Revolution on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to the Ospreay and Taka and Takeshita match. I'm looking forward to it because it's the first time I'm seeing it. But after that is where the problem is. Mm-hmm. Why do I care about Will Ospreay now? Like, you've told me he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, if not the best. Right? You have told me that. Okay, all right. I can see he's really good, but what else? Am I just going to watch the best wrestling match ever every single week? Because I guarantee you that it's going to lose its luster. I guarantee you there's going to come a point if he doesn't get character, like our boy Sling Blade, who everyone's coming after, Bully Ray's coming after, right? Not coming after him, but coming after the fact that, like, yo, this Jay White's supposed to be the dude. But it's like, what is he doing?
Who is he?
Who is he? And it's the same, and I'm telling you right now, the same thing will happen to Will Ospreay. The same thing will happen.
It's called the law of diminishing returns, folks. Let's get serious. Let me drop some knowledge. If you just continue having banger and all these matches, people are just going to get bored with it. I always compare it to a fireworks display. If a fireworks display was just all the finale of a fireworks display, you're just gonna say, okay, that was cool, but what's next? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do next? And remember, it's American television. That's what it is. And I don't care if this works in Japan. I don't care if it works in Mexico. We're talking about American television because that's what we watch. We watch American television. Any folks, if anybody's listening to this from overseas, if you like what you like, that's fine. But we're talking about American television. That's what's going to get the ratings. And doing just wrestling, is never going to get ratings on American television. It's all based on characters, storylines, compelling situations that these characters are getting into. Look at everybody right now who's over in the WWE. All have compelling stories. Roman Reigns is in the Bloodline. Cody's going to finish his story. You even have stories within some of the groups right below them with the Judgment Day. What's going to happen with them? There's a story behind them. They're not just doing random stuff. They're not just a random faction. They have a story. So see where I'm coming at. It's just that.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
And it's at the point where this is getting exhausting because, like, I feel like we come on every week and we keep saying this, and you know, in the next episode, Ben and I have already talked about it. We're going to be talking about ranked WrestleManias and stuff like that. But, like, this is just like like what is the term? Like therapeutic for us.
Cathartic.
And I want to get whatever. And I want to get to the kind of the next topic here, so we can kind of get through like the wrestling fan issues that we're seeing. Like, okay, so going from the O'Shea Jackson hysteria based from the AEW fans, which is ridiculous. Even our boy Chris Van Vliet, who tries to play it down the center most of the time, because he's just a great guy and you can't possibly be mad at him. Even he was leaning to the point like, yeah, they're difficult. They're difficult. I understand what you're saying. But this other clip really pissed me off. The Maxxine Dupri, right? So she's at a house show. You all saw the clip by now if you're listening to this. And she's getting booed on her way out. And there's one dude that probably eats Dunkaroos for dinner, right? This fucking goon who just goes out of his way to yell, "You suck, Maxxine." And there's another guy that just laughs in the background. Now, you had two types of people on the internet. You had the people that were like, "That's rude, you're a loser. Imagine trying to go in front of an audience." And that was kind of led by Rhea Ripley, which I enjoyed seeing because she is the face of the women's division. Where she was like, imagine trying to go out and do your job when you're learning and like getting that reception. And then there was the other side of it where people were like, "Why is everyone so soft? I paid my ticket." Listen, I think that people are just looking at this completely the wrong way. And wrestling fans, let's just be honest, these people are socially awkward, Ben. When you go to a wrestling event, right, it's a group of people that if you put them at like the 40-40 club or like a top line spot, they wouldn't know what to do in those environments. But you put them in a wrestling event, now they're one of the cool kids because they're
people. They're with
their people, right? And wrestling fans, and if you guys don't like this too fucking bad, you're unfunny. You're not funny people, okay? You don't know actual humor. But what happens is that when a wrestling fan gets any type of chant over, or any type of reception over, it's like a pack of hyenas. Everyone jumps on it. And that's what happened here. The person that took issue with what Maxxine was doing, right, did it for no other reason that they wanted attention. And they knew that it was a low-hanging fruit, and they took advantage of it and made a girl feel bad. That's exactly what fucking happened. It wasn't, I paid my ticket. You wanted the attention, so you said she sucked, and everyone joined in because that's the cool thing to do because wrestling fans can't think for themselves, especially the people that are attending the damn shows. That's what happened. If you think anything else, you're wrong. And I invite you on this show to come at old Nicky here and try and have a discussion. Because you're wrong. You're wrong. You don't want the dude with these shades on staring at you, just putting you to a pretzel. Ben, I'll allow you to come.
No, so I see what you're saying, and I'll play devil's advocate to it. Now, when you're a wrestler, I come from a background. I played sports in college at Division I level. So, are you going to get booed? Are you going to get heckled? Are you going to get told you suck? Are you going to get told? Yes, you are, and that's what you sign up for. You do sign up for it. However, and also when you become a wrestler, you need to understand that, yes, people aren't going to like you all the time. You're going to get booed. You're going to get heckled. You're going to get told you suck. Nature of the business, when you're performing in front of people, it happens in every type of entertainment. Comedy, music, acting, it happens. However, like Nick said, and what I do agree with, is that this individual is just doing it to try to get themselves over at a wrestling show.
Correct.
You piece of crap. Just go to the show, boo the heels, cheer the faces, have some fun, do a USA chant if you want, have fun with that, do Jey Uso's dance if you want, have fun with that, say yeah, have fun with all that stuff. You can gawk at all the women that you'll never get to. You can look at them, have fun doing that too.
Definitely not going to get them.
Never in a million years.
Never,
but you can think it. You can think it. You can go home and, get your rocks off. But, don't go to these things. Listen, the girl, yes. Is Maxxine Dupri an experience? Yes, she is. But she's doing her best. She's trying. She's going to go out there and she's trying to entertain. And you got to, as wrestling fans, you got to understand that. Okay?
And it really comes down to, like, listen, like, I understand you're paying for a product and you want to see top of the line stuff.
Yes.
I understand that. But in this case, it wasn't that. And that's the point.
Yes.
Right? Generally, you should be able to react to what you're paying for. My other thing against that, though, a little bit, is that wrestling's not a real sport.
Exactly.
The reason people boo athletes is because there's actual, like, fandom and consequences where, like, you are invested in this team. I find it hard to believe that the person that told Maxxine Dupri that sucks is so invested in what the Alpha Academy is doing.
No, they don't care.
That they were so disgusted by it that they lost sleep over it. Because I tell you what, when the Mets lose a game, I literally just, like, sometimes I can't even function. I'm so miserable. That has never happened to me with pro wrestling. Like, let down, great, move on next day because it's not a real sport. This person did it specifically to get over with the crowd, like Ben just said.
That's all it is.
That's literally
what happened. And you know what? I bet you that person who said it would be first in line to get her autograph and get a picture with her. And that makes me sick. That's what makes me sick, is that you see her at the airport. You're going to shove some bullshit in her face for her to sign. You're going to shove a camera in her face to get a picture with her, and you'd be the first person to do it. But now, when you're with all your little pack of hyenas and you're with your other pack of basement dwellers and you think it's funny that all you're going to do is just scream at this girl while you're chugging your Mountain Dew into oblivion, you think it's cool. It's not. You're a loser. You're a complete loser. And there's honestly no place for you. So
and lastly, kind of before we move on, and I put this in a tweet. You know, it would have been really a lot cooler if you saw her struggling in the ring and everyone just started cheering for her and getting behind her.
Yeah,
like that, because you know what? She's a fucking baby face. Okay, so you could have just started like. Someone started standing ovation. Someone started saying, "Come on, Maxxine, you got this." That would have created a moment that would have gone viral for all the right reasons instead of the wrong reasons. And I say this because you know what? I'm an adult at the end of the day. I'm a dad. I have a daughter. I understand what it's like to, my kid's 5. And when I see her in gymnastics and she screws up, you want nothing more than to just cheer her on and make her feel good and install that confidence in her. So I'm sorry I'm in a different place in life, but I'm just letting you guys know because as usual, I always say on the show, you may not agree with my opinion, but my opinion's right. Exactly. So with that said,
well,
Ben,
one more thing.
Go ahead. I
do want
Hot
to say
tag. Sorry,
this is what gets me mad about the IWC, because all the IWC does is they talk about we're inclusive and wrestling is for everybody and this, that, and the other.
Bullshit.
But then as soon as somebody has their opinion, like O'Shea Jackson, and as soon as somebody is in the ring like Miss Maxxine Dupri and might not be like the highest caliber, and that's okay. Not everybody is the best wrestler in the world, but you know what? She's entertaining, she's attractive, and there's a reason she's there. Okay, so enough of this pretend trying to say oh, we're inclusive, wrestling's for everybody when you go out and do this type of shit. So figure it out. IWC, you got a lot of learning to do. Figure it out and figure out what you are, because you don't even know what you are at this point. Next time,
they eat a lot of fried foods. I can tell you that.
They're disgusting.
Let's move on to actual pro wrestling shows. So we're gonna go into. I'm actually looking forward to it. I feel like it's been a bit since I've been this excited about kind of because the last AEW, I think I was at All Out, so I was there in person. This AEW pay-per-view Revolution. It's a long card, Tony. I beg you, please just kill 4 of these matches, please. I can.
You already killed the Meat Madness match.
Brother, I already know it's gonna end at 1. I'm already dreading that.
Why aren't we involved in the Meat Madness match?
I don't know. We should at least be sponsoring it. They should be giving us plenty of cash. But okay, so I mean the big thing about this match right here, in my opinion, is it really is 2 things really stand out to me here. The AEW World Championship match I'm very interested in. I think Samoa Joe has crushed it so far as AEW champion. He has been flawless on the mic, even impressed me, and I know he's a damn good talker. Swerve obviously is one of their top guys now, and the audience is starting to get behind him. Where he's almost a babyface at this point.
He is.
He's pretty much a babyface. And then you got that little swerve last night from Hangman. I really dug it, man. I really liked it a lot. And then the other thing I think is, Sting's last match. Those are the 2 things. And obviously the Ospreay, right? Ospreay too. Ospreay and Takeshita, you got to kind of get into. Ben, what are you thinking about this pay-per-view?
I think it's going to be, the best thing, we're talking business-wise, they're going to be in front of a sold-out crowd in the Greensboro Coliseum. historic venue for professional wrestling. So that's really cool. Obviously, everybody coming out. They sold, I think, like 10,000 in the first weekend because of Sting being his last match. So that's tremendous that he's going to
be there.
He's going to get he's going to get what he deserves. He's going to get his last match in front of a ton of people, in front of a territory he used to work all the time. So that's really awesome. We've all been giving Sting his flowers forever. Well deserved, because he is an icon. No pun intended. So that's great. And that's great for all the guys and gals in the card, performing in front of a sold out crowd. That's that's going to be an awesome experience, awesome environment. So really happy for them there. And you named it. I mean, I was going to be interested in the Meat Madness match, but you know what? I guess because of injury, there won't be a Meat Madness match. There's other guys on the card that could be in that match. Come on, there's a ton of. What about the Iron Savages? What about my guy Preston Vance? What about them? They could be in the match. Just put someone.
What
else
about
in.
Evil Uno?
What about Evil Uno? He's a big meaty guy. There you go, Evil Uno. Where's Rusev?
He looks like a drumstick.
Yeah, so come on, let's throw. You gotta get enough guys in there. Put me in the match, Tony. I'm not booked on Sunday. Why can't I be there?
You're too tall, Ben. You're too tall.
True. Probably too good looking too. No, so I mean the rest of the card, it is what it is. I'm not going to pretend I'm super stoked about it, but like you said, I am looking forward to the Sting match. I am looking forward to see how. I mean, Ospreay and Takeshi are going to have a hell of a match. That'll probably be the best match on the card. I'll say that.
How much time do you think Tony's going to give them?
Oh, they're gonna have 25 minutes. They're gonna go a long time. And then you know what though? What really upsets me is that one of them has to take the L, and it's not. I don't think either of them should. So I kind of wish it wasn't them going against each other right now. I'd like to see that in the future, but I don't know. I don't. Not good for either of them to take the L right now. I think you could have really built something out.
Maybe we'll get something. Maybe we
will. Man, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But no, let's talk a little bit more about Sting, because this is Sting's night. It's all going to be about Sting. Obviously, he picked the Young Bucks. Nick, what is your favorite Sting memory?
Wow, favorite Sting memory. Damn.
You can name a few. You don't have to be just one.
I mean, what sticks out to me the most was, I was probably the first time I saw him in the rafters, because I watched The Crow. Mm-hmm. So as a kid, I kind of put it together, but I was also confused because does he, I didn't know that a person like Sting would watch The Crow. To me, wrestling was still somewhat real, you know, to a degree. Sting was just a character to me. So, to me, I'm wait a minute. So this guy that's just in the rafters now, he sat down and watched the movie? He knows about The Crow? And then it just made more and more sense. The first time I saw him in the rafters, that was the first time you kind of ever saw anything like that. So for me, I was this is you just became a really big fan. And you also, I think why I love that so much is I was man, there might be finally an answer to the NWO. And then my other feeling was, I really hope he's not in the NWO, because he had the black and white. So I think that, that's the coolest thing for me. The other things that I have is not so much about any matches he had, but for me, the Sting wrestling figure as a kid was my favorite figure. And Sting was the WCW guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I would always have Sting wrestle my WWF LJNs. And to me, I just remember fantasy booking Sting in the WWF, because the little baby booker in me always wanted Sting to be in WWF at the time when I was a kid. Because he was the one guy from early WCW that I knew about. Him and Flair, basically. I was those were the two outside guys at outside WWF that I kind of knew about in wrestling, really well. And then when NWO came around and Rey Mysterio, 1996, 97, I started to become more affiliated with, the rest of WCW. But Sting was really the guy that, maybe realized that WCW was a big deal. And I think that's my best memory of Sting. He legitimized WCW for me.
Sting's a great example of like a guy like, yes, he's had some really good matches. So like against Ric Flair, against Vader back in the day, especially like Starrcade 92. I've watched a few of these matches, some really awesome ones. Cactus Jack, whoever it may be. But really with Sting, he's a perfect example of remembering the moments. Like everybody knows who Sting is. I have so many friends that don't give a shit about wrestling, but they know Sting. I forgot which WrestleMania it was. Which was the one? Was it 32? Was it or 31 when he wrestled? Was that the one where he wrestled? Yeah,
31. 31 is when because they were
when he
at
wrestled
Arizona.
Triple H.
Or they were. I don't know. They were at
San Francisco.
Yeah, but that 100% was 31. It was 31.
Yeah, it was 31
because he should have faced Taker when Bray faced Taker. He should have faced Taker there.
Yeah, I had a bunch of friends over. We were all watching it, and they weren't really wrestling fans. They're just like, hey, you know what, an excuse to drink. But then they all marked out when Sting came out because they remember Sting. They know who Sting is. He was all over the place in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that was, to them, that was awesome. It was like, oh, I can't believe Sting. I didn't know Sting was still around. I think they loved it. And so Sting is, in all sense of the word, Sting's an absolute icon. And so I really, it's hard to pinpoint moments with Sting because he's just been in the periphery. He's been in wrestling forever now in the periphery. I honestly, the moment that I thought was the coolest is when he finally made his WWE debut, at Survivor Series. I thought that's one of my favorite Survivor Series matches of all time when Dolph Ziggler finally got the win at the end because when Sting came out, I thought that was incredible because it was something we never thought we'd see. You never thought we would see Sting in a WWE ring. We never thought we'd hear the music. You never thought you'd see the bat. You never thought it was going to happen, and then it happened, and that's really just a big mark out moment, and that was so cool. And I think we're both big fans of Sting. I think we both can say that, and it's a bummer. Obviously all good things got to come to an end, but one hell of a career. I mean, the guy, what is he, 65, and he's still doing what he can do. It's. I mean, he still
looks
freak, man.
I wish he just wouldn't wear the damn T-shirt. I know that his body's probably whatever, but like there are other dudes that are walking around looking like dog shit, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like just get like body armor or something. Get like the old like Shield gear.
I know.
I fucking
don't love
hate
that
a
either.
T-shirt. I hate the fucking T-shirt. It kills it for me.
I hope it's selling well for that reason. I hope you.
Well, he probably knows
he
that.
Probably
too.
doesn't. And he probably
doesn't give a fuck. But I got to think
he don't need the money.
Sweet gear. He's got to have some sweet gear for his last match. You can't be coming out in a fucking T-shirt, brother. Like you got to do something,
dude.
It's gotta be cool.
I mean, I know everybody. I mean, I know the Crow's like obviously what he's known the most for, but. Man, if he did like a half face paint of like the Crow and the Surfer Sting, oh my God! I think I would love that. If his gear like it had like half Surfer, half Crow gear,
or maybe he does like he changes mid match. It goes to he gets beat up, goes to the back, comes back as Surfer Sting. That's something Tony would buck. That is something Tony would buck.
You know what though? That's entertainment. You IWC dorks. That is entertainment. If he just gets taken out in a stretcher, and all of a sudden he comes back as Surfer Sting, and it's all
and you get the music. And Tony buys the whole catalog.
Oh,
and he just plays the music.
We're booking a legit
we're
match.
10 steps ahead as
and
per
he comes
usual,
in, makes the big comeback, big stinger splash, Scorpion Death Drop, locks in the Scorpion Deathlock. Nick Jackson taps out. We just booked Revolution.
Before we move into the rest of the card, do you think this is his actual last match?
Do I think? Yeah, I think somebody like Sting. I think this will be his final match. I think he's done what he needed to do.
He's taking the pin.
I think he's oh man, they might light the seats on fire in Greensboro if that happens. If he
get pinned by Matt, you get pinned by Nick or Matt Jackson.
I don't love that. I don't love that booking. But if it happens, it happens. Sting should not be taking the pin in his last match. Too much of an icon. I know it's like go on your way out, go out on your back. Give the people the rub. I don't think Nick and Matt need the rub, or Nicholas and Matthew need the rub. I think that you got to put the Stinger over in Greensboro in his last match. Come on. Does
Flair get involved and screw him?
Oh my goodness! I don't know if
You know, Rick is probably asking for. You know, Rick wants to do it.
I love Ric Flair.
He's probably asking Tony. He's like, "Listen, man, I can go.
I can
just make it. I need one more.
I just need one more, brother.
Make it a 6-man. Throw some paint on Brian Cage's face or something like that. Make it a 6-man. Make it a 6-man. I'll do my shtick. I'll hit the chops and I'll go. And imagine Ric Flair right now trying to politic to go over Sting.
Oh, dude, it's happening. It did. And then just Sting laughs because like, yep, this is wrestling. This is right back into. And then Hogan comes out and then
Hogan's like, I saw Rick at the winner. I'm like, what if?
What if? Yeah.
Coming over the top, brother.
Oh, I could maybe I come in next and maybe I win the title. It'd be over.
So and then the rest of the card.
Let's run through it.
I'm interested. I am invested in Toni Storm versus Deanna. I think
very good match.
I think it'll be a very good match. I think Deanna needs to add something to what she's doing. I think Tony's the perfect person for her to be working with at the moment because she does have such a strong character. Man, I think that I would probably say if I had a gun to my head, I'd say that Deanna gets screwed and they do another match. I kind of feel like that's the way it's going to end.
I don't think it's time to take the championship.
Tony's just too hot right now. What are you going to do after? Like, what are you going to do? You want her chasing the belt? Nah, like, you don't need short reigns. You don't need short reigns anymore. Like, have Tony run with it, man. She's crushing it every single week.
Have Tony run with it. Have Deanna, be like, it's like, all right, you're back of the line. Deanna now scratches and claws to get back. Maybe down the line later this year, maybe we have a big match, and maybe Deanna can take it from her. And the chase. The money's in the chase, folks. I think Toni Storm goes over. All right, Nick, Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong for the AEW International Championship.
I personally don't care, but I think Roddy might get the win here.
You think so? Yeah, I think they need that faction needs something, so they got to get some type of belt.
That faction needs something. They need some gold on it. I hate the belt. I hate it. I would just get rid of it.
Well, because don't talk too fast, Nick, because we also got the Continental Crown Championship.
I was gonna say that. I would get rid of that as well. That's another championship they can get rid of. Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson. It's a match I don't even think. I think if they told the story correctly, you don't need to have a Continental Crown Championship. You just don't need it. They could have just had the story be what the story is. And can we let Bryan Danielson tell some stories? Like, Jesus, he should have been champion already. I think Danielson goes over though. I
think so too. I think you kind of
Kingston beating Danielson. I mean,
I know
Eddie. Like, listen, if Eddie's gonna work, he just works as fighting from underneath, and he could take and at least with the fan base, he could take 1,000,000 L's, and he's the one guy that will still be over every time he hits.
Oh,
listen, he's not my cup of tea. I hate the chop thing he does. I want to throw up in my mouth when I see it. But he can talk on the stick.
Oh yeah,
and the fans do love him. So I'm just gonna say, listen, like, I don't think he's hurt by it, but Bryan Danielson needs to start fucking winning and be a star.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
what
we
are we doing
yeah,
here?
come on, you're wasting talent right there.
Stop. Like, come on, he should be at the top of the fucking card.
Absolutely.
He should be in the World Championship match right now. Like him and Samoa Joe. What are we doing?
Yeah, let's stop having our fun wrestling matches. Let's start making some money, making some stories here. Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT. Another one.
At least the TNT Championship is like a real championship for them.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, just keep it with Christian Cage.
Yeah, there's no way you can take that off him. We talked about Ospreay and Takeshita. We have All-Star Scramble match. I don't know what's that. It's supposed to be Meat Madness, so that's the let's get everybody on the card match.
Hate it all. Just put over Jericho, make everyone angry. That's fine.
And FTR.
Just put over Jericho at 53 years old.
FTR versus Blackpool Combat Club, which feels like this is like the 100th time this is happening. So
I have no investment in that match whatsoever. And it's a shame because Moxley should be at the top of the card. FTR should be putting on incredible matches with more on-screen time, more promos. Like, their tag division should be much stronger. Claudio, I think, is the only one that actually works in the Combat Club. Like, at this point,
there's no one from Blackpool in the Combat Club.
Is it still the Blackpool
Combat
Club, or is that the span?
No, it's Blackpool Combat Club.
No one's even from Blackpool in the Combat Club, as Ben just pointed out to me, which is ridiculous. Like, they don't. I know it's mocked, but you just don't need them on the card. You don't need them. WWE's proving that. These are the matches you absolutely don't need. And again, no disrespect to the wrestlers, but I just don't want to be up at 1 o'clock in the morning. No. You don't need this FTR match versus Moxley and Claudio. You don't need it. You don't need the scramble. You don't need it. Put it on at 7 o'clock. You know.
Maybe it's a pre-show match. Who knows?
I'd say you don't need those two. You definitely don't need. And I just wish that the Continental Championship match didn't exist.
Well, that'd be 7. So you'd have 7. If you took those out, that's 7. They have 9 matches right now scheduled because there might be more. There's probably going to be going to be like the buy-in type stuff or the two.
If you wanted to do it right, you should put the International Championship match on at 7 o'clock. You should put on the All-Star Scramble at 7:30, and then start the pay-per-view.
Yep.
This way I could look on Twitter and see what happened in those 2 matches, and then I could start watching the show.
And that's it. No, I mean, it's not looking over it again, it's not a weak card. It's not the strongest card, but we'll see. There's a lot of opportunities to have really, really good matches. I'm sure Christian Cage, Daniel Garcia, we glossed over it, but that'll be a very good match. Christian Cage is unbelievable.
Before we move into just finishing up with a little bit of WWE talk, who's winning that world title match? Is Joe retaining?
Yeah. No, Joe can't lose. Joe
I feel like it's not a big enough moment for Swerve.
No, it's not.
I feel like Swerve's the next guy. And then I would love to get Danielson back.
He's not established yet as like a full baby. I mean, he is a baby face, but he's not like fully established as a baby face quite yet.
Swerve, right?
Yeah, I think he needs to chase more. I think Samoa Joe's too much of a badass. You cannot just let him. He can't just come in and drop the belt like pretty quickly. So,
and he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job without MJF
stud,
there.
He's awesome.
That's AEW. Talking WWE here, Elimination Chamber. We did the show before the Chamber, right? Did we have a show in between the Chamber?
No, we didn't.
We didn't. No. So we did the show, and what do you think? I think that they did exactly what we said was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what though? You know what? I'm so sick of that narrative people were saying about like, oh, it was like just the most predictable. But you know what? It's goddamn entertaining. That's what it was, right. And that's why I watched it. I don't give a shit if it was predictable. Good, I knew it was. I kind of had a feeling what was going to happen, and it did. But other things happened that I didn't know was going to happen. Stop with this like predictability. Like it's like, oh, it's too predictable. But people would have been throwing shit in the air if Bobby Lashley won the Elimination Chamber. Give me a break. It was too predictable.
And I think the way they did it like was great. I mean, dude, Logan Paul, man, like he's unbelievable. It's almost infuriating how good he is, like to a wrestler, because it's just like you are so good at this, and you shouldn't be, but you are. And I can't hate on you. And he looks it too, man. He's just as big as these dudes.
He does everything right, man. He does all the little things Logan Paul does right with the facial expressions, his movements, how he sells. Like everything he does is perfect for his character.
Even writing on the Chamber, which has never been done before. Like he wrote on it.
Oh, dude!
Like, remember, see how he like with the
Kevin Stinks thing.
Like it's so smart because it's like in his that is his character. He's a viral sensation. Like he's gonna go on TikTok after. He's gonna make a TikTok.
Did you see the people getting mad at him for body shaming Kevin Owens? Oh.
What do these people look like?
Oh,
they eating double stuffed Oreos?
Dude, Kevin Owens is a fat guy. What the fuck? Is he not?
He'll tell you he's fat.
Like he is. Like come on. God, we already talked about
said this. I need to see
the doofuses in there. Yeah. Please show your face because you never will. You have to hide behind.
Who was it? Nick Hausman? Did Nick Hausman write up a 10-page report on body shaming?
I hope it wasn't fucking that phony JD from New York because you know what he's all about.
Well, he's in the gym though, Ben. I wouldn't mess with him, man.
He's in the gym. God forbid any celebrity's party or anything. God forbid. Don't tell JD. The God-fearing JD. Don't tell him.
That is interesting.
God forbid. Matt Riddle said that he did a little bit of disco dust.
It's like he's like, why would you want to say that publicly? WWE knows already. They clearly know already. You don't think that maybe people that want to hire Riddle have spoken to people who know people? Like What are you talking about? Like, don't put that out publicly. WWE gave him the test. They're the ones who found cocaine in his system. It's that. What does it matter what anybody else?
It's not
WWE.
News. It's not news. So JD, again, like, just freaking king of the dorks. Like, you're king of the dork this week. You just took it from Davey Dirtsheet. Now
new segment, yo, Ben,
the king of the dorks.
New segment announcing right now. This is not planned. Every week we will be giving out the king of the dork, king of the dorks of the week.
Dorks.
Every week there will be a new king of the dorks
instead of the king of the north. King of the dorks.
And we will if I have time, I'll make a graphic, and we will release the king of the dorks each week. I have a great job,
smart.
Ben. That's what you get on our show. That's spontaneity. No one planned this.
No, we didn't.
Right?
We didn't plan it.
We got a run sheet here. We're organized. But it doesn't mean we're not going to leave room for a little bit of loosey-goosey action. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit of riffing.
A little bit of riffing. You know, sometimes I talk too much, so it's nice that we get some segments in here to shut my fucking yapper up.
So let's go back to Elimination Chamber here, and the men's chamber.
Ben.
The men's chamber was great. It was laid out perfect. Drew should have won. There's no question. Women's chamber, I mean, we think we all know who the star of that match was, and it was Tiffy, and she is every bit of a goddamn superstar, Tiffany Stratton. She has it all.
Man.
All. Now, I don't care. I don't want to hear, oh, she's green, or she can't do this, or she can't do that, or she didn't work the indies, so doesn't give a shit. I don't give a shit. That's what you want to see on TV.
If she's green, I don't know what green is.
And the people that say she's green, the majority of people who are saying she's green don't even know what the word green means.
Bro, it was 5:36 a.m. You saw my tweet.
Yeah.
I got up for Chamber. I'm watching it in my bed, 5 a.m. And I tweet about Tiffany Stratton because, listen, she came out and she literally just took over the show. She got that crowd going. Tiffany Stratton.
They were booing Liv Morgan.
They were booing Liv Morgan
for a while.
Right? Tiffany Stratton came in and she basically got that crowd going. And some dummy on Twitter. First of all, I'm an internet heater. Okay? I'm up and coming. All right? You guys know this. If you're going to comment on NTG's Twitter when I'm rocking especially before 6 a.m., brother,
be ready for it.
You better be ready for it because I quote tweeted his ass, man. I quote tweeted this guy so bad, put his ass on a fucking poster, and he didn't respond. First of all, kudos to that guy for not deleting your tweet, right? Because I don't like when people do that. You gotta wear it if you say something dumb, you know. And he did wear it, but he shut up. No response back. Didn't try and fight it. He just bowed to his tribal chief. He bowed to the head of the table at 5:36 a.m. Don't fuck with me before 6 a.m. I am the lord of before 6 a.m. tweets. Okay? If I could tweet more, I would.
The lord of the dawn.
Don't fuck with me. But he said that Tiffany Stratton was green, and I was like, you are an absolute fucking idiot. Continue, Ben.
You don't know what green means. If you're not a professional wrestler, don't call people green. If you've never been involved in professional wrestling, don't call people green. You don't know what it means. You have no idea what you're looking for, so stop doing it. You have no clue. Just because, and I like this guy, so don't get this twisted because I listen to him all the time, but just because you listen to Jim Cornette, guys like that, doesn't mean you know what green means. He does, and he can say whatever he wants because he is a legend in this business, and he absolutely can say what he wants, and he's an entertainer and whatever. But you, Twitter guy with profile fucking Seth Rollins lover 678X23457826772, you can't say anything because you have absolutely no clue. Let's keep going. We're getting hot today, Nick. But, okay, so the women's chamber, very good. They put on a hell of a show. Some say better than the men's chamber. It might have been.
I liked it better than the men's chamber.
But I think really, we can – then they had the tag match was – tag match happened. And I don't know much to say. It was fine. It was fine.
Gotta have the same gear.
The
new something, whatever. New Catch Republic needs the same gear.
Needs the same gear. Yes, you need matching gear as a tag, especially
either,
WWE.
Either get matching gear or don't be a tag team. That's my rule of thumb. Until you have matching gear, I will never be invested in you. I do not like tag teams that are just two people.
No, you gotta have. But let's talk about the main event.
Well, before we get there, there's one more piece of detail we need to talk about.
What do we miss?
Cody said he.
Yep. Oh, that's right.
Cody challenged The Rock. Yes. So that is, and I even glossed over it the first time I did my review while I was going to drop off my, not drop off my kid. I was taking my son to his gymnastics class. I totally glossed over it, but Cody basically called it The Rock, so we may get something. I still have my reservations.
SummerSlam.
But I think it's going to be SummerSlam. I just don't. I think Cody maybe said before because it keeps the people on their toes, but I don't know why you want to just shove in The Rock.
No.
Like this much with it's already leap year day. It's February 29th. Like WrestleMania's a month away.
Yeah.
Like there's I don't want The Rock being squeezed in right at this point.
I don't think so. I hope
if
not.
he takes the title off Roman, if he does, which we'll see if he does because Roman is still looking at that Hogan record, right? Mm-hmm. If he takes the title, then have The Rock challenge for it. Fuck it.
Yeah, why not? Maybe The Rock says, "I'll make things right. I'm the real tribal
I'll
chief."
fucking do it. If Roman, you can't do it, I'll fucking do it. And then
he loses, and then next Mania we have Roman Rock. Boom! Wow!
Exactly.
Put us on the payroll.
And if that's in Vegas, I'll fucking be there. I'll tell you that.
Put us on the payroll, Vince.
So so that happened, and then we had the main. We had Rhea versus Nia. We have become a pro Nia Jax pod. I think she did a great job.
That match was perfect. It was exactly what it needed to be. Nia took over, beat her up, and when I said exactly what would happen. Teased the Riptide twice, doesn't happen, finally hits it, 1, 2, 3. It was great. Nia was awesome in this match. So anybody giving shit to Nia, she fucking brought it in the main event, and she pleasantly surprised me. I was very happy to see that.
And I'll say this, Rhea is the closest thing to being in my mind, like a super duper star. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that she's a female.
No.
No. Like it doesn't matter. Like it does she might be like a top 5 person at the company right now.
Oh, dude, I might even put top 3 with Rhea right now.
Like,
I think
Roman, Rhea.
I think so. I think then you got obviously then you got the Beckys and the LA Knights of the world and the Seths, but no, dude, I think those are the top 3. I don't think there's a better. I think it goes Roman, Cody, Rhea right now when it comes to most valuable to that company at this current moment. Those are the 3. I don't see anybody else stacking up with those 3.
Her theme song is so fucking awesome too.
Oh, it's great.
It just fits her so perfectly. She knows her character so perfectly. Her presence, her look, she's sexual at times.
Oh, dude.
She just
at the right times, not too much.
At the right times, she doesn't do it all the times, but
she knows when to. Yeah. She gets it. But I believe me. Some of the half Boston crowd was put on for a reason.
What'd you say?
Nia put her in the half Boston crab there was a good visual there.
I saw the clip. She commented.
We all know we're red blooded. We're red blooded males. We get it.
Married though.
We're married. We're happily married. We're not going after Rhea, but we know what people want to see, and they saw it. But I do want to say that. Do you think? I want to ask this question. Do you think that Rhea is bigger than any of the 4 horsewomen were at any point?
Yeah, totally.
I think so too.
Totally.
I think
Sasha would have been there if she stayed.
I think. Yep.
To me, Charlotte is just different because I feel like Charlotte was Charlotte Flair from day one.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair is Charlotte Flair. She's Ric Flair's daughter, and she is maybe the greatest women's wrestler.
Oh yeah, probably.
Maybe
Safe
of all
to say.
time.
Safe to say.
Right? Charlotte's just it's just different, man. She's Ric Flair's daughter, and she's fucking great.
Yeah.
Right? But if Sasha, I never have felt the way about Bayley, Becky, Charlotte that I do Rhea. Yeah. I did think that Sasha was getting there. Like, I think the boss, Sasha Banks, could have absolutely, because I feel like she's crossover star. Like, Sasha Banks, to me, she was in the Star Wars stuff. She could legitimately be like, maybe not The Rock, but I feel like she could cross over into like real life celebrity status. And I think that's one of the things she kind of missed with going to AEW, because she's going to be more focused with wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Sasha would have been there. I have never been as invested in a women's wrestler as I am in Rhea Ripley.
I right now on the women's side, I know like the 4 Horsewomen, what they did for women's wrestling was great, and they absolutely like deserve their flowers. But I think right now, with who they have in the women's division, when it comes to Rhea and Bianca and now Tiffany Stratton, I mean, dude.
I mean,
and then Jade when Jade's ready, brother.
I'm more excited. I'm more excited to watch like Rhea. Like, to me, the women have made the full blown transition for me. Like, I am very excited when Bianca Belair's music hit and she has a microphone in her hand. I think she's very good, and she backs it up in the ring. She's more athletic than a lot of the men.
Yep.
That's just a fact. And then Rhea is on just another level. I love watching Nia. I think Chelsea Green.
Yep, I forgot about Chelsea. Yeah. Yep.
Like, you forget about Chelsea because Chelsea's not in like the title picture.
But one of the most entertaining women on the roster.
But you want to talk about like pure entertainment? Like, you want to talk about, she's getting promos now. She got her entrance at the battle royal that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea Green is like, if you ask me like which female women superstars I want on my TV, I'm gonna tell you that it's gonna be like I got Rhea, I got Bianca, I got Chelsea Green, I got
Tiffany,
and maybe Liv Bailey. I like Bailey. I like right now. Yeah. Bailey to me is the most interesting of the 4 Horsewomen.
Yeah,
like Sasha's different because she's out. Like, you know, she's someplace else. She's Mercedes Moné. She will be in AEW. She's gonna be the TD Garden. But if you want to talk about like who's left, like, I'm going Bailey, then Charlotte, then Becky.
Yeah,
like, that's my list right now. Like,
I think so.
Becky just has such a status, and she's over to the point where like she's just always going to be over.
She doesn't do anything. She
doesn't really need to do anything. She's going to be over no matter what with the crowd.
Yeah.
But like, for me, like, she's not doing the man stuff. She's not as interesting as she was when she like birthed the man gimmick.
In 2019,
right? And she had a bloody nose, right? Like, and
thanks to Nia,
she came back. Right? Thank you, Nia. She had the baby. She came back. You know, and like, you know, it's hard. You know, like, to reestablish yourself when these killers have come in from NXT and they're like legitimate stars and better athletes than you by a country mile.
Yeah, that's nothing against Becky.
That's nothing against Becky, but like, these are world class. Like, Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton are legitimately like world class type level athletes.
Yes,
in that ring, they are a step above everyone. Even Charlotte. Like, Charlotte's just naturally gifted.
Yeah.
But like Tiffany and Bianca are like
legit.
And then Rhea's just in terms of like psychology, facials, size, look.
No, I think nobody's better right now in women's wrestling than Rhea Ripley. I don't even think you can't even argue it. You can't.
No, she's the best.
She's absolutely the best. And I mean, like I say, you look forward to it now. You look forward to seeing Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton come out, because you're gonna see something pretty sick. Honestly, I mean, they put on great matches. They're some of those girls put on just as good matches as all the men, and it's safe to say that.
And it's important for the women too. Like, I would say matches are almost more important for the women because naturally the audience is a double standard, and as we see with Maxxine, there's a double standard, and then people just take their shots because it's low hanging fruit. Well, these girls, you ain't gonna have to worry about that because they can crush it.
We lived through the Attitude Era, and we lived through the Divas era, where it was subpar wrestling. It was bathroom breaks. It was just valets. They were. So it wasn't like the women were just kind of looked at as like there. It was, just an extra thing to look at. But, now it's like things
standards higher. The wrestling standards
higher. And they need to be, obviously with the wrestling standards higher, but it's just also just they're presented now in just equal to the men. And that's great to see because they deserve to. Rhea, Tiffany, Bianca, Charlotte, Becky, all of them. They deserve to.
It is great to see, and we'll end there. We'll say that Ben and Nick, we love women.
We love
obviously.
women's wrestling.
Love women's wrestling. We just literally covered it, I think, extremely well. Kudos to us for being so great.
Kudos.
But Ben, I'm exhausted. We just did an hour flat. Talked a lot about wrestling.
We did.
Took
we
shit
had,
on
we
the
had
fans.
fun. We had shit on the fans. We talked about wrestling. We
talked a little about everything.
We were able to get our feelings out. I'll plug my stuff. Get my shit.
Plug your shit, and
quick.
then
we gotta wrap it up here. But
I'll wrap us up.
No, so just finished. Was that Juggalo weekend for ICP? JCW is back, folks. Juggalo Championship Wrestling. You don't have to be a Juggalo to go to these. They're gonna start running more often. It's gonna be fun. We had a lot of fun. Great crowd. Juggalos are great people. I want to say that. They're not a gang. They're good people. We had a lot of fun with them. They were awesome. Great group of guys and gals there in San Antonio, Texas. But coming up in about almost 2 weeks from now, I will be facing off against Matt Riddle. He is the New Japan Pro Wrestling TV champion, and I'll be facing off against him in Glen Burnie, Maryland. And I can't wait. That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a fun one. And a little goddamn American Legion in Glen Burnie, Maryland. And we are two guys who should not be at a goddamn American Legion in Glen Burnie, Maryland. But you know what? We are. And it's inexpensive. So, folks, come out if you're in the area. It's about 300 people seated American Legion there. So let's pack the house there. Like
one of my favorite quotes from Chris Jericho's book, No is a 4-letter word, is wherever you are, that's the place to be. Ben, you got anything else to say to these marks?
Nothing else to say besides to keep it truck and keep it positive, keep the shades on, because the sun never sets on a cool guy.
Later, Marks.